What is abundance and money like for you? Is it easy to get? Is it hard to hold on to? Is it only found on credit cards? Is money a non-issue in your life because you have plenty? I've had thousands of clients who felt hindered in their ability to manifest abundance in the form of cash, wealth, or other things associated with material energy. They wanted these things so they could have a freedom to experience life a certain way for themselves. For instance, sending your kid to a great school, or sharing cultures, traveling, loving them any way you wanted because you had the resources to do it. For some people, hearing the phrase, "the love of money is the root of all evil," became a program that you bought into and think that it's bad to have it. But I see a lot of moneyed people doing philanthropy. Even Mother Teresa had millions of dollars given to her from wealthy people. She had these resources available to her that made her an excellent abundance magnetizer. So money is just an energy that you can use to do good things for you, which might surprise you to call money that way. If I had known 20 years ago, my whole world would be so much different. Starting in my mid-20s, I manifested an abundance most people would only dream of. And I am really honestly being conservative when I say this, because I truly honestly don't like to brag or talk about myself. But I've lived a multimillionaire's lifestyle with the cars, the private plane, multiple homes in 3 parts of the world, 5-star vacations, and I've done it all. And I had a lot of fun doing it. I hung out with loads of rich people, celebrity rich people, business rich people, like you name it. And I watched how they think and act about money. I learned that wealthy people think money is easy to get and they have no issue trying to figure out the whole game of it. In fact, they think it's kind of fun. And it's only an energy that they mastered doing what they love. That's really it. They just mastered an energy. So I get what it takes to manifest a lot of money, and I also get the whole other reality of being poor. I mean, I did the poor broke college kid. I had no cash. I worked my whole way through college, putting myself through college. I had no handouts. So I've done the whole range of manifesting abundance. But I also get to do what I love for a living. I've worked with over 10,000 people clearing their blocks to happiness, and these blocks include not having enough prosperity and abundance. I think I pretty much have a PhD in finding and clearing blocks from people. Here's what I know for sure. I think manifesting anything, including cash, money, less income, more income, is basically a sum total of all your energy frequencies and the patterns that you received in your life that make up your thoughts, ideas, judgments, and all the conclusive evidence that you agreed, aligned with, bought and sold yourself as true for you. Yeah, we buy and sell ourselves what our story is, and all your energetic frequencies are made up of this energy and these stories and these conclusions and these decisions about manifesting. And these stories either create the huge door being shut to abundance or the big golden door being open and flowing for more and more abundance. That's the truth about money from an energetic place. You have an energetic set point about money, cash, and things about abundance and life. Abundance blocks are subconscious barriers society has implanted in you, and they silently, behind the scenes, sabotage your efforts to gain wealth. And these abundance blocks could come from anywhere: your parents, your mentors, your friends, the media, and the government. And how do you get these? Think about it like this. As a child, did you ever hear your parents complaining about greedy and unethical rich people and how the government always sides with them instead of the masses? Did you ever hear that line from the Bible saying it's harder for a rich man to enter heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle? Or have you ever watched a movie, listened to a song, or read an article that calls money the root of all evil? How about in high school or college? Were you ever told that working hard is the only key to success? All of these things sound pretty insignificant when you just hear them, but silently, sneakily, they latch onto your subconscious mind and form abundance blocks in you. And the result of this influence is in plain sight, because many of you are saddled with subconscious fears towards money, because somewhere deep inside you, we relate it to greed and evil. And some of us spend way too much time at work thinking that back-breaking work is the only path to success. We overlook opportunities, we're often too afraid to invest, and we always second guess ourselves, and the list goes on and on. Even having just one abundance block is enough to completely derail your life. What if you had an abundance block that causes you to believe hard work equals success? You might become the kind of person who works 60, 70, even 80 hours a week. You might come home late every night and miss countless precious moments with your family and friends. You might even overexert yourself and end up in the hospital, or even worse. Left unchecked, even one single abundance block can ruin your life. And what I've found is that most of us have at least a half dozen or more abundance blocks affecting us to different degrees. Common abundance blocks. Block number one, believing that money is the root of all evil. Let's go back to the phrase that the love of money is the root of all evil. If you believe that, even a little on an energetic playing field, you are being that energy. You're being it. It's in you. And that energy closes the big door to abundance. Even if you think logically, but you still have this pattern of belief that reads true, you're still blocked. And that's why people sabotage money by spending it and not saving it, blowing it all on stuff and filling up their home with things that take away peace and happiness. Your stuff starts to own you. So you then believe that that is evil. And you make that belief all the more strongly ingrained. When you energetically change this, then you believe it is safe, right, and good to have money and love money. And then you treat it like a friend and you love it and you keep it around. It's so much more fun. I think you have no choice whatsoever but to clear these things. I mean, truly, I think a big light bulb should go off and in everyone in the world that you really have no choice but to clear these frequencies and beliefs. It's the only thing that will guide you out to having and keeping the money that you deserve. Block number two, treating your job as a source of your income. I think a job is a thing you choose to do that creates value and you put your energy into it. But does the energy of your job add to your life, or does it steal it and deplete it and take it away? And here's what I mean by that. A job is a choice and you put your life force, you put your heart into it, and you know that it gives you money back. And this job is often called your livelihood. Notice that word, lively. Your life depends on it and it gives you the money back to live. Now, in other words, you give life to it and it gives life back to you. And for some of you, this conclusive evidence is strong enough that you stay in a job that makes you unhappy and not well lived. What I mean is you give your heart and soul to something that you don't prefer, and if you live this way, you're giving life to something that zaps you. It's not like it gives you back life fullness. So there's pros and cons to this way of living. Most people regret jobs that they had if they don't believe that they can get money from other places. This fear-based, it's truly a fear-based work ethic, limits how many times you live a happy life. This fear-based work ethic limits how many times and how much energy you can put towards happiness in your future. Fear is such a low vibration. I mean, fear-based thinking, again, closes that big old door on abundance. It closes the door to happiness. Have you ever been in a space where you're truly happy and everything goes right? You know, that's what you would want in a job. So this thing you call a job that you spend 40 hours a week doing should feel like that to you, happy and in the flow. I had this amazing client, Julia G, and she was doing this 3-month abundance course with me. And she wrote me an email that when she started using some of the secret formulas to basically raise your energetic frequency and clear out a blocks, she had this whole work hard thing. So what she did is she actually went and started playing. And her income, she said, within 2 weeks, basically increased by $4,500. She says she felt like she worked less, even though that wasn't the case. But because she felt happy in her particular reason, it felt like everything, she said, and later in the email, she said everything worked like clockwork. There were no blocks in anything getting done. And when she went to work, it felt really, really easy. So that's kind of the energy of the flow that can happen. And she said 2 months later, she sent me another email basically saying that she was working less. But that's kind of how it starts once you start unwinding all these things. I have discovered thousands of ways that we block our wealth and abundance, and these wealth and abundance thoughts, ideas, stories can block everything that we're trying to create in our energy field. In fact, I believe that if everyone changed these, they would never, ever, ever have a money issue again. And I can prove this a little further. So let's go to the whole idea that thoughts are things. If I had told you earlier that your love for money is good, and you knew it as your birth birthright, that you really energetically resonated with this concept that the love of money is good for you, quantum physics suggests that if you look at something, you change how the energy behaves. So if you look at a molecule and you believe it's going to spin in a circle, that's what it does. If another person looks at the molecule and they believe it's going to go straight up and down, that's what it does. So if you look at the thought, loving money is good, then loving money acts like a magnet to bring you more money. But there are thoughts, all unconscious to you, that act like the very barrier you may never know you have towards manifesting everything. Now, note, we only get programmed if we believe what somebody energetically shows us. It could be mom and dad, it could be society, teachers, authority figures, religious figures, and anything else that you hold dear. The things that we love the most are actually the things that program us the most, because we love them and we want to make them happy, like your mom and dad. Seriously, I would have never known any of this until I went to the energy of so many people and literally looked at their souls and what they were doing, and their lives changed by us working on releasing all these strange and twisty stories that we soak in and basically make true in our world, in our reality bubble. For most of us, these stories are not wrong with us, meaning we think, what's wrong with me? That question that we always ask that sums up a story that we bought and sold to ourselves energetically, making it more real. You should start asking the question, why am I telling myself this silly story? If you believe that money is evil, for instance, why did I even dream up of this story? Believe it and then make it real. So you're going to have to pay a little bit more attention to some of the thoughts that you're thinking. Here are some of the blocks that I've uncovered, and there's about 25 of them, which I call the main abundance blocks that absolutely need to be cleared, no matter what, in order for you to start living in abundance. One of them is if you think that source, energy, or God, whatever word you want to call that, abandoned you at some level or won't help you get what you want in some part of your life, then you're probably blocked. That energy can read as shame, fear, and unworthiness. If you think money is the root of all evil, you're blocked. If you think I'm spiritual and I don't need money, all I need is source, you're blocked. One of my clients, Amber, she did the 3-month coaching calls on abundance. She had some interesting energy on spiritual things. She's a life coach, she's a therapist, she's spiritually inclined. She was trying to start her own venture, not wanting to work a job anymore. Those were her words. She had a few blocks on the pressure to starting her own business, but I want you guys to really understand something. She had these insane ideas that she had to help people and not receive any income. And some of these were really hidden to her. She didn't put it all together until she started the journey. And what I want you to understand is the universe is always bringing us things. I mean, seriously, Mother Teresa manifested millions of dollars. So the universe is abundant and is not opposed to you changing and opening to new opportunities. I mean, she has to pay rent just like everybody else. Here is how it all started for her. At the start of the 3-month program, she had 15 clients a month. At the end of the 3-month program, she had 25 clients a month. And she says it's since started growing. I mean, it keeps growing. And that's an extra $30,000 to her. She no longer has to struggle to pay her bills every month. I mean, how can you help people if you're always stressed out trying to figure out how to pay your bills? I mean, that's really not, stress is not love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. It's not really the higher vibrations. So if you think you can't be spiritual and have money, you're going to be blocked, because money is a natural outflow of the loving support from the universe. And if you believe any of these things, the universe can't just show it up for you. If you believe that rich people are greedy and do bad things for money, you're going to be blocked. I know hundreds of wealthy, nice people who make a lot of money. They're philanthropic, they're abundant, they love life, they care about people, they donate their time and love and money to things. So truth or false? I mean, seriously, this is a lie that rich people are greedy and do bad things. I mean, some people might have that intent, but obviously not the ones in my circle anyway. So if I have money, people will only want me for my money or keep asking me for things. That's a total block, a total fear. I had a very wealthy friend, and people would always ask him for things. And then what he would do is he'd just completely empower them. He'd help them. I mean, for him, he looked at money as an opportunity to help people who may need some help. I mean, that's how he looked at it. If you went to the negative about it, he wouldn't be wealthy, right? Because he'd be blocking the money from showing up. How about starving artists? I mean, that's a program that infiltrated the planet. A lot of them became millionaires after they died. One of my coaching clients on the 3-month journey, she was an artist and she had this program. She said she was a starving artist. And she was so happy when we worked on these blocks. For her, what happened is, about 8 weeks into the program, she felt so free. Like, people would randomly start coming to her and buying her artwork where she before felt blocked. A gallery picked her up, and then she had this cool idea, like she called it a download, an inspiration, of how she was going to use her art and help children. And very shortly thereafter, she found this philanthropic rich guy to basically help her do that. That literally happened within a short amount of time once she cleared her block about being a starving artist. I mean, how amazing is that? Another belief that people have is you have to struggle to make money. Another one of my clients, Estella Rodriguez, she did the Unlimited Abundance 3-month coaching program. And you're not going to believe this story. I mean, anybody who's ever had to struggle with medical bills will completely be astonished, because we all know that those things can bankrupt somebody. I mean, like, literally ruin a whole family's life. So she had this whole belief about struggle to make money, which she cleared. And here's what happened. The day after she set the intent and signed up for it, the first thing that happened is she got a $1,600 tax return after somebody redid her taxes. Okay, so the first accountant made a mistake, then it was $1,600 tax return. But 3 months into it, her husband almost died and spent 5 days in the hospital. The bill was more than $58,000. It did not include, on top of that, the $3,000 for the ambulance and the $3,000 for the doctors. And they don't have medical insurance, okay? So she used some of the formulas that I taught her, the techniques, and the abundance started flowing. I mean, look at this. I mean, this brave woman did not go into fear. She said, no matter what, I'm going to get out of this. She did a few of the techniques. She called the ambulance company and found out 2 weeks after they started, calling and everything, the bill was knocked down from $3,000 to $650, which they totally paid. Then they also arranged to make payments on the doctor's bill, which was, they're fine with that. Then they applied for a program that somebody randomly talked to them about. It was very serendipitous, and it's called like a sponsor care bill or something. And they received a note from the hospital, and she swears it was these techniques that helped her. But the letter came and she said the $58,000 bill was waived. I mean, seriously, how many people ever get a $58,000 hospital bill waived? The good news is it's very possible to remove your abundance blocks, but the challenge is that it's not something you can do alone, because even if you know exactly what they are, even if you make a logical decision to break free from them, your existing energetic frequency and subconscious thought programs will always pull you back to square one, back to the same limiting beliefs and behaviors. That's why the key to liberating yourself from them is to go to the source, the part of your energetic field known as the abundance frequency. And that's where I come in. Using my unique gift for tapping into people's energy fields, I can access your abundance frequency and systematically remove all the blockages that are holding it down. I mean, seriously, it's the most liberating, exhilarating, and life-changing process. When I'm with a client, what do? Well, I start by reading the client's energy field and balancing it. And I create this sort of like mold or this pattern of perfect energy template that has already been liberated from the specific abundance block that we're targeting. And I further enhance this mold by injecting positive beliefs and attributes into it before projecting it back into the client's field. And the result is instant energetic transformation with little to no effort on the client's part, which they love. This technique works both on individuals and also in groups. Speaking of groups, the Maharishi Effect. It's a scientifically documented phenomenon in which large groups of people can more quickly and effectively spark positive change by focusing on a common goal. In a number of fascinating case studies, it has been shown to help reduce crime rates in cities, decrease unemployment rates, and even increase stock prices. So just imagine what it can do for an individual's life. The key is collective consciousness. When we're in a group, we'll tap into each other's energy fields and use this large mass of energy to more effectively eliminate each other's abundance blocks. And the result results you will get will be miles beyond what you're experiencing if you work solo. Here's what's really cool. In the 3-month coaching program, I get to watch what excited everybody the most and what created the most amount of change in people. And it's very interesting. One of the things that triggered everybody is mimicking their parents' beliefs. People had so many deep-rooted stuff that they just uncovered and uncovered and uncovered that they'd duplicated from their parents, and they had no clue that they did it. A lot of these blocks were pre-programmed into you when you were grabbing your parents' energy to make sure that you felt loved, because you needed your parents to love you, feed you, care about you. A child needs to learn how to be in the world, so you mimicked it. And if your parents' vibration was about lack, we're going to use these techniques to clear that. If you are scared of letting go of things and you're not sure while we're doing this, I want you to know that it's your choice whether you take the energy or not. You're the chooser. I am the door opener. If you're really, really tired of not getting what you want in life, if you take this energy, you're going to be lifted. If you're aware of energy and the sensations of it, you're going to feel something. If you cannot feel anything while this is going on, I'm kind of sorry to say, but you're a little blocked, because somewhere you shut off some of your feelings, like you checked out a little bit. Now, this doesn't mean it's right or wrong or good or bad. I'm just kind of giving you a true awareness of where you're at, all right? You can ask with intention to just clear some of that while you're in the session, because some of that will also shut off your awareness. So to get started, I'm going to need you guys to relax and take care and kind of think of what your heartfelt needs are, because now is the time to change. So are you ready to change? And if you're a little blocked on handling change, you might get a little emotional or something. And this is because you embodied a lot of stuff. And this junk needs to come out sometime. And if you're not feeling happy, you're probably filled with some of this junk. If you don't wake up sometimes really happy and thrilled with your life, then you might be a little blocked on the positive kind of feel-good energy. If you can't handle life in some way, you're probably a little blocked. If you have push and pull with love, you're probably a little blocked. And love's going to be a big door opener that's going to clear a lot of things. All right, so we're going to handle all these things so you can start loving your life. This is going to change you. Okay, so open your energy to receive. Imagine a big door opening to new and exciting things. Now, if you're aware of the light, I'm going to talk about source and light. If you're aware, great. If you feel a little blocked while you're doing it, just imagine it anyway. The universe will gift to you no matter what you can see or not see. Okay, so just expand your energy and open the door. Now open your heart and imagine that once you've opened the door, it just sends a nice light beam into your heart. Now take your energy up about 300 feet above your head, and I want you to connect to source, whatever that means to you. Just connect to light, connect to source. This light is going to come into your body, and it's going to open up things so that you know you are loved. Okay, so let this light come into your crown. Knowing the truth that you are loved, allow this light to come into your eyes. Seeing the truth that you are loved, let this light come into your throat. Communicating into your future what you truly want. Open your heart and let the light in so that you can have new ideas and new energy. Let the light come into your torso so that you can be in your power. Allow this light to come into your hips and legs so that you can be rooted in your upgraded reality. Let the energy of this light flow into the ground until you feel rooted in new, abundant opportunities. And in the center of the planet, you're going to feel this really cool happy place, this happy dimension. Allow this light to come back up, straight up into your heart. You're now connected from above and below. Let this light radiate out 10, 20, 30, 40 feet, wherever you feel comfortable and expanded. So it's like you have a great central sunshine in the middle of your heart and just ask it to radiate out. So now you're filled with these frequencies that can start shifting things. You might not be aware of it yet, but this is a really high vibration that I'm asking to kind of come into you guys. So let more light in. So just think, wow, if I could take some more in, what would I do? Just let it in. This energy is about perfect plans in your future. In your world, you might not have your life planned for abundance, and I want you to plan for this new life. In this new plan, you can have your average income increase. So let this light come in and ask it to turn into new income, new bonuses, new wealth, new prosperity, new energy. Are you feeling it? If you're not, let go of any resistance in your body. It's clues that you're blocked and resisting something. Now let's take a look at some of these blocks. Did you or your parents ever think that money was evil, bad, or you were ashamed to have it? Okay, if so, I'm going to do a clearing statement that's going to clear all the stories about that, okay? So we're going to delete those stories, de-story it, uncreate it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. So what I'm asking is for this energy to leave all parts of your reality field. Time, dimensions, space, and reality. We're going to delete it, de-story it, and uncreate it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. So think of a moment when you might have thought money, or your parents thought money was evil or bad and you shouldn't have it. Okay, so everything that created that story inside you, will you delete it, uncreate it, and de-story it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Anywhere you hold this in your field, it's no longer needed. Give yourself the gift of abundance and let it go. All right, are you ashamed at anything that ever happened about your money or cash or credit cards or debt, any of that stuff? Is there any shame kind of hanging out there? Some of you might feel it in some part of your body. You might feel a little heavy or a little sad. Maybe your mom, when you're growing up, or dad felt a little ashamed about how they cared for money. You might have accidentally soaked that in too. So anywhere you guys can feel that energy that's blocking your flow to abundance, will you uncreate it, delete it, de-story it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Just let it go. Okay, any other lower frequencies, fear or guilt associated with debt, credit card debt, money? Anywhere your parents went to let you have it, and if you wanted it, you felt badly or ashamed about it, will you let that go too? Uncreate it, delete it, de-story it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. Now here's a really good one. How about you guys who can't hold on to money? You have to spend it like it's burning a hole in your pocket. Or if you get it, then something has to break in your life so that you just don't have it and you can remain broke. How many of you guys have that belief, or your parents had that belief? Okay, so uncreate it, delete it, de-story it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. I'm going to say that one again. How many of you guys are broken and broke and you can't hold on to money no matter what you do? Okay, and all the thinking and the stories and the beliefs and the ideologies and the events that culminated in this reality being in your field, will you uncreate it, delete it, de-story it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Any of you guys who felt like your spouse or your mate took all your money? Yeah, because you can't hold on to money, so you gave it away to other people, people you loved, and you trusted them, and they hurt you. Will you uncreate it, delete it, de-story it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Okay, anywhere your parents didn't give you what you need regarding money, or you watched them struggle and struggle and struggle and not hold on to money, and then maybe even they blamed you as a kid, like, I had money until you came along. So any of you guys having that, will you uncreate it, delete it, and de-story it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? So anywhere you were told that, money doesn't grow on trees, so that's kind of saying, hey, money can't be increased very rapidly. You got to work really hard and then maybe you'll get it. Okay, so everything that is, will you uncreate it, delete it, de-story it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? Just kind of stay present, let more light in. You can do it, let it go. Okay, so any of you guys who feel like you have to work really, really, really hard, and then at the end of the day, you still might be broke, will you uncreate, delete all that? Across all time, dimension, space, and reality. So how many of your parents told you that you might not amount to anything unless you do it their way, which is work hard? Okay, everything that is, will you uncreate and delete all that across all time, dimension, space, and reality? If you think that you have to earn every penny and still, one more time, never have enough at the end of the day? Will you destory, delete, and uncreate all that across all time, dimension, space, and reality? If you believe that you have to work in an environment that does not support you, you gotta suck it up and go to work, and maybe one day you'll be happy. Okay, so any of you guys living that dream, will you uncreate it, delete it, destory it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? So what did you guys see your parents doing? Did you see them just go to work, suck it up, and complain about it all day long? Because if you watched your parents complain, you probably embodied that frequency of choosing a job that you have to complain about. So anything that is, will you uncreate it, delete it, destory it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? How many of you guys let your parents talk you out of what you really wanted to go do? Okay, uncreate it, delete it, destory it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. So if you make less than what you want, you're blocked. So every reason under the sun that you gave yourself for why you can't live abundantly, uncreate all that, delete all that, destory all that across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. Okay, so any fractured part of you that truly believes, for whatever reason, that you have to live in an unsupportive world, let's delete all that too. Uncreate it, delete it, destory it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. Did your mom and dad ever give you like an allowance or an abundance, or gave you money and then made you feel bad about it? Will you uncreate all that, delete all that, destory all that across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Woo! All right. My hope for you is that you guys can have life-giving abundance in your work environment, right? So anywhere else that you guys have to suck it up for whatever reason, will you uncreate it, delete it, and destroy it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Any fractured part of you that truly believes that you have to live this way, will you uncreate it, delete it, and destroy it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? If you cannot love money and cash in abundance for some reason, will you uncreate it, delete it, and destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? Did your mom and dad love money? So anywhere you picked up your whole parent's energetic blueprint about not loving money, not having money, not holding money, not keeping it safe, will you uncreate it and delete it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? Any other reason that you can't have money, will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? That's more light. It's going to open the big abundance door that's been locked. Just think open sesame. Woohoo! All right. Now, if your father had any things that he said all the time, whatever those phrases are, and you all know what they are, about money and debt, any of that made you feel bad or never enough or squashed you, all of those, will you delete that, uncreate it, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? What were your father's famous last words, huh? Okay, all those, will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? So just let it pop in your head one more time. Is there any other thing that your father said that somehow took your money away right now? Is there any other thing that your father said or believed or did that's really a big old block to your door being open? All right, uncreate, delete all that. Yes, destroy all that across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Okay, what about your mother? Did your mother work a lot? Did she stress a lot? Did she worry a lot? Did she struggle? Okay, anywhere you embodied her main blueprint for money, will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? What was your mom's main idea about money? Did she have plenty or did she have little? What was her main blueprint? Okay, anywhere you guys copied that, uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. Did your mom and dad fight about money? What was their main problem with their marriage, if there was one? If they fought about money, most people do. Was there too little coming in, too much going out? One's a saver, one's a earner. They put it on credit cards. Did they do more ups and downs than a roller coaster? Okay, all those stories that just kind of got conjured up right there that you had to witness and then you embodied. Will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Now, I want you to look at your own life. Have you guys ever done any of those things that just kind of popped up with mom and dad? Have you done any of those? Yeah, so anywhere you created this block in some part of you, uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality. Now I'm going to bring up an interesting one. Did you guys rebel against your mom and dad? Now, rebellion is okay, except for if you rebelled, but you were rebelling because you already knew somewhere subconsciously that you'd already embodied them and you were kind of irritated about it. Okay, because that's what rebellion can sometimes be. You're mad because you accidentally soaked them in. So anywhere you guys accidentally did that and you're reacting, uncreate it and delete all that across all time, dimensions, space, and reality. Often teenagers are trying to push their parents out. That's what they're doing because they know they somehow soaked them in. So anywhere you guys are still doing this and still trying to prove them wrong and make them miserable by destroying your own life, will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? I want you to think of the worst things that you ever did with money. Whatever that is to you, what is the worst thing that you ever did with money that kind of popped in your head? Okay, and what's your main emotion that's tied to this? Are you hurt? Are you mad? Are you ashamed? Are you avoiding money because of it? Will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimensions, space, and reality? Any of these emotions that still get conjured up, they're blocking you. I have a lot of clients who come to me and they say, I dealt with that. And I'm saying, yeah, but you didn't, because I can still see it. I wouldn't be able to find it in your field if it was gone. So any of those that are still hanging out, that you guys don't even want to discover, that you thought you cleared with, that are still there, will you uncreate it, delete it, destroy it across all time, dimension, space, and reality? So you're blocked until your money in abundance shows up. So now's the time to really focus on your new intentions. And these intentions are going to pour into your energy field right now, fixing all your blocks. So just expand into your future. This new doorway is kind of opened. So see if you can burst it open a little bit and make the flow into the new pathway way more abundant. I want you to just visualize how you really want it to be. What is the income level that you want to have? Do you want to work easy, like my friend Lawrence did? You made double the money working half the amount of time. Create a new path now. Your abundance is waiting. Now, what else do you want to see as far as abundance? Just put this in the energy now. We'll all add to everybody's energy and create it for each other. So visualize success, prosperity, doing a job you really, really love, spending plenty of time with the family and kids, and having lots of money come in. Do all the dream things that you have that you always wanted to do, that you've been procrastinating on. And let's set an intent that your abundance is exponentially manifested. It just shows up quickly. It shows up as this huge gift to you. You know exactly what guidance to follow in order to make it happen. Yeah, and it's just a breeze, and you're like, wow, that was like so freaking easy. That was so easy. I just made more money than I've ever made. And my debts are paid off. And I get to be happy. Okay, and when you're ready, just open your eyes. Let me show you exactly what can happen if you're able to break free from your abundance box. You see, in May 2011, I hosted an exclusive 3-month online clearing event for a small group of 400 people, and it was called Unlimited Abundance Journey. And during the journey, I performed live online clearing statements where I tapped into everybody's collective energy field and eliminated each of the 25 main abundance blocks, one at a time. So imagine what we just did times 45 minutes times 25 sessions. I mean, it was amazing. Once that event ended, I started getting all these long appreciation emails. I mean, from people going, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened. Let's just cut to Natalie. She's been in contact with me me because she keeps sending me all these like love notes about the cool things that have been happening to her. So let's go to Natalie.
I'm a real estate broker in Utah, and so before the journey, one thing that I struggled with was constantly worrying about new business, how I was going to get it, those sorts of things. And in the journey, you had taught some specific techniques to kind of clear some of the blocks that, we would have, and me particularly, and in my business. And, after a couple of sessions, there were some clearings that you had done, one particularly that would bring people, local, state, or on a national level to you for whatever service or whatever you do, for financial compensation. And the very next day after that clearing, I got a phone call from a large servicing company in our area who had been using another agent for like 20 years for their relocation department. And they basically called me out of the blue to inform me that I was going to be their new relocation agent, which from the time that I got that call to where I'm at now, I've had 3 transactions, which is totaling about $15,000 of commission. And there's future business there because I'm now their designated agent, which was really cool because I've been trying to get in with them for like 7 years. Another exciting thing that happened for me is when you were teaching the technique of asking the question, like, what would it take? And so I focused on a specific client that I wanted. It was a larger, client, because one of my focuses is helping this community grow. So within a week after putting that intention out there, I get a phone call out of the blue from a seller who wants me to list a property, and it's a $4 million listing. I was really excited because obviously what I was doing was working. I was in competition with another agent who was telling them that they could list the price or list the property 3 times what I was telling them they could list it for. They ended up listing it with me. They've priced the property to sell. It's a $4 million listing, and when that property sells, it'll be about a $240,000 commission. And I've been working on it since I've taken that listing and putting the intention out there to find the buyer. So I'm on both sides of the transaction, so I will get the $240,000 commission. So many other cool things have been happening around my business. So my income increased dramatically just by using these techniques that I can kind of get out of my own way, if that makes sense, clearing some of the blocks, clearing things that were holding me back for as long as I've been doing what I'm doing. And I've just had this, floodgate open this year, and it's been things specifically tied around, participating in the unlimited abundance journey.
Wow, that's an amazing story, Natalie. And I am curious, the person that called you out of the blue, how long did that take once you were in the journey before they showed up and said, hey, you're our listing agent now?
It was the very next day. Like you had done a clearing the night before. It was like it was a Sunday night. And the clearing was specifically like when we were talking about financial abundance, and it was a clearing around opening up people who may have not known that you were there before. If I get paid by the service that I offer. So this clearing, on a local, national, and state level, literally the very next day. I mean, I got into the office. I was at work for maybe a half an hour to an hour, and my phone rang. And I looked at my phone because I was on the other line. I looked at my cell phone, and I'm like, that name looks so familiar. And it ended up going to voicemail, so I checked the message, and it was this company. And I literally about fell out of my chair because I was like, oh my gosh, this is the company I've been trying to get in with for 7 years. And every time I would talk to them before, they would completely shut me down. We already have an agent. We're happy with our agent. And then for them to call me and say, hey, by the way, you are now our new relocation agent. And I got 3 deals within first month of that, which, like I said, was about $15,000 worth of commission.
You sent me an email, and I think you said that December is one of your biggest months you've ever had?
Yeah, which is crazy because December is normally a really slow month because we live in northern Utah, and it gets really cold here, and people just tend to not want to move in the wintertime. But, I've continued to use the techniques that I've learned, and I will close out the year with one of my biggest months in the year. Like I said, last year, I was around $75,000 total for the year. This year, after my closings in December, I will be at about $300,000. And everybody asks me, what are you doing different? Are you making more phone calls? Are you, knocking on more doors? And it's like, no, I'm not. Literally, these people are coming to me. It's been the worry in my line of work has for me, has completely gone away. I don't worry anymore. I just put the intention out there. I ask the questions that I need to ask. I just try to get out of my own way and use the techniques that I learned through the journey. They were amazing.
Oh, thank you. So for anybody who's still a little on the fence or skeptical, what would you say to them?
I would say do it. I wouldn't even, I remember when I first signed up, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect. It's a good chunk of money, but hands down, I got the best return on my investment. I would do it over and over again. And anybody who's thinking about it, take it from me, personal experience. I've grown so much in the last year, and I will attribute that growth to the journey that I participated in.
Oh, awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Thank you, Christy. I appreciate you very much.
Here's Janie.
The biggest thing is that my life is more expansive. I'm just like stepping out in areas that I never even imagined to do it. I'll give you an example. I think it was about 6 weeks into the course, and all of a sudden I was negotiating with this woman over something. And it was a big ticket thing. I've never negotiated or bartered in my life. Never thought to do it. Just, what's the price? Pay the price. And I said, what would it take?
So you use the secret formula.
I know. This is my favorite thing. What would it take if we maybe could work it out like this? I gave her a couple of options that just kind of popped out of my head, and she just said, that'd be great. That's fine. Yeah, that'd be great. And it ended up saving me $5,000, and that was so amazed.
Right, because it was sort of part of your energy now. So you just randomly said, what would it take for this to happen? And then it was part of you'd embodied it probably at that time. That's what I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what I kind of
you're
assumed.
Right. It was just a natural part of me. And I think that exemplifies what I was like before was just sort of gone.
So you just go with the flow, and whatever somebody, say, hey, it's this much, you just pay it. And then after you're like, no, I can create my reality, so let me see if I can change this.
And I did it in a way that she just loved it.
Oh.
It was like a win-win. I felt really, really good about it. It's really affected every area of my life. I can't tell you enough how much more expansive my life is. So I'll give you one more example. I have a broker who manages my money. I'm married, but my husband is ill. I've done this for a couple of years now, and I used to just let him just do whatever he wanted to, and I never questioned what he did. I never even read the reports, and I found myself reading the investment reports that he would send me. I also started using the energy statements. What would it take for my portfolio to double?
Wow. I love it. So you became
for all of my investments and all of the investments of all of his clients to grow 100% and more. And then I started actually studying investments, and I started reading all these hard copy newsletters, e-newsletters, and all that kind of stuff. And I started paying attention to what was going on in our country, around the world, globally, and I just started educating myself. So I started actually working with my broker, found things that had gone unnoticed by him, and that gave me more confidence to make more suggestions, and I've changed the dynamics of my portfolio. And I'll tell you, I had always been afraid to handle money like that. It was comfortable with him taking the risk, and he was risking my money. So I think through Unlimited Abundance course, I got it, that it was my money. I was responsible for my money. It helped me so much.
If you could quantify how much money you've actually made while doing Unlimited Abundance Journey, how much would you say that you've earned
I know
above
that by
it?
the end of the course, I had either made or saved $16,000 loosely. I'm so grateful to have found that course and to have been in it, Christy. I can't tell you what a big difference it's made in my life.
So if anybody was a skeptic, what would you say to them?
Do it. Just do it. Just do it. It'll change your life in so many ways you can't even imagine.
My favorite thing in the whole world is watching people expand and actually get what they want. To me, it's just like Christmas every day when I get to open up my inbox and I see all these amazing testimonies by people going, wow, it really worked for me. I had a couple other stories. I'm going to just share them really quickly because, again, I literally get hundreds of these. And so sometimes people are going, oh my God, really that happened? And I'm like, yeah, and I have hundreds of them. So Annette, her husband had been out of work for more than 9 months, and the couple was going more and more into debt every month. She took a risk. She joined the 3-month coaching. Even though her husband was resistant, she started using the techniques that I showed her on him. She basically made him do it because she said, "You're going to get a job, buddy, somehow." So he just landed a contract job earning almost double the amount that he earned in any of the last 20 years together. I mean, seriously, that is abundance. And she had had a friend who borrowed $1,000, was also in bad financial shape, and all of a sudden she just started sending the $1,000 back to her. So Annette says she was totally in the flow, and that happened within about 4 weeks of doing the program. Margaret from Australia said she used to have a certain belief that she had to struggle and that money would always leave her or something, and she said she had started going through, listen to this, she had manifested a long time ago $125,000 inheritance, and she started going through it. She sold her investment properties, she sold her gold, and she was blowing all her money. Her small business was spending more than it was bringing in. 3 credit cards were maxed out. And since starting the journey, she sold the business, which enabled them to pay off all their debts and buy a second car with cash. Her husband started working full time, but he loves it. It was a great job, and he makes a larger salary than he'd ever made before because she wanted to restructure so they could bring in abundance. She won some money in the lottery, which is always fun. And they finally took a vacation that they hadn't taken in years. They took a nice, lovely 5-day vacation. They figured out how to do it on literally like $1,000. It was really cheap. She said that she did her taxes finally. She'd been procrastinating. She got $5,000 back, and she's now setting up a whole new business. And she says she's already been making it profitable, signing up people for seminars. So all of that happened. I mean, seriously, that's like a whirlwind, right? Within 3 months. There's only one more, and this is such a doozy that I wasn't sure people would, sometimes people hear these doozies and they're like, oh, that's just a fluke. But you have to understand, I have tons of these. But here's Anne. Okay, so the only reason she joined Unlimited Abundance Journey was because her and her husband were wealthy at one time. But what happened when the real estate market crashed, they had a bunch of store spaces and they couldn't rent out those spaces. So they were blowing through money, and they didn't really have any option because they couldn't sell the property because it wasn't worth anything, and they couldn't lease it out, and nobody wanted to pay those high rents that they used to, and she had no clue what they were going to do because this was a family business. So it would take the whole family down, her and her 2 kids and her husband. So she set an intent that no matter what, she was going to lease these spaces. Now, in the middle of the journey, she really got the download that the broker was not cool. Okay, so she took massive action, because that was one of the blocks that we cleared about taking massive action, and changed brokers. And she followed her intuition, and that's how she found the broker. And literally, like the last week of Unlimited Abundance Journey, she leased 2 of those spaces, and one of those spaces, the biggest one, leased at a really good price for a 10-year period, and that contract alone will bring in over $1 million in revenue. And she says it honestly saved her tush. She was so thrilled. She was so proud of herself. I mean, you should have seen her face. I actually met her later at a seminar, and she came up to me and she's like, oh my God. And her face looked so bright, and she was so happy because it was her family, you know? So she was in the 3-month coaching program, and the reason she signed up was because she was going to change her family situation. That's what she decided. So when I hosted the Unlimited Abundance Journey, I was forced in a way, which was very disheartening for me because everybody who knows me knows that I'm generous and I love to give and all that. But I was forced to turn down thousands of people. And so we really want to make this available because I want you guys to have your abundance blocks cleared. So here's what we've done. I hosted the Unlimited Abundance Journey. I recorded every session, and I made them into a whole program that you can consume at the comfort of your own home. Now, I want you guys to also realize, though, there was a lot of people from around the world that heard this Unlimited Abundance Journey, and they didn't have time to get in on the live coaching call. So they used the same exact recordings that I'm inviting you guys to try out, and they had spectacular results just by listening to the recording. So I want to be really clear about that because I had everybody from Australia and England and Dubai and all over the world who consumed this. I kind of checked in on that. I looked at all the emails and kind of matched them up with where they were and looked at how much they listened live because I was curious myself, and I pretty much got the same reports back. You can think of it as an immersive, complete version of the energy clearing session that we just went through. You know, we only did that for about 15 minutes, so it's like an hour and 20 25 of those, and you get the exact same results, in my opinion, as a real life one-on-one consultation with me. If you listen to 2 sessions, let's just say you wanted to go for it and listen to both sessions a week, just like everybody else did, that's only 20 minutes a day. So you can listen to 10 in the morning and 10 before you go to bed. Or put it on your iPad and you're waiting for your kid at school in the parking lot, put it on for 10 minutes. And then they'll love you because your energy will be different. Some people actually, as soon as they said yes to Unlimited Abundance Journey, manifested that. Teresa, she's one such client. As soon as she said yes to it, she got a letter randomly from her bank, basically saying they dropped her mortgage. And she never asked for it. She doesn't know why they did it still. She didn't want to call them and alert them. But she said it was because she said yes to Unlimited Abundance and the doorway opened. In working with so many people, I've kind of got it down to a little bit of what are the 25 main ones, but I think everybody has little different trajectories, and that's why I wanted to do Unlimited Abundance, because we have 400 people on a call, 200 at a time, and we're literally clearing all the little trajectories of each block, because not everybody struggled the same. So if you had one way that you struggled and I had one way I struggled, all that energy in the collective is there, and we blow all of it up for everybody, even the ones that we don't even know that we have. So it's really cool. This isn't going to be your everyday home training program, I promise you. As a psychic and a healer, my gift is working with people's energy fields, and during each session, I use a series of techniques that allow me to address these issues. And I create this mold of this perfect energy template that has already been liberated from the specific abundance block that we're targeting. So if we're clearing that you have to work hard, I'm putting a mold on you that basically just goes kaboom and it blasts open all the places that you feel like you have to work hard so you can work easy. The result is instant energetic transformation, little or no effort on your part. You just have to open to receive it. It will leave your mind and your body feeling absolutely rejuvenated. And the beauty of these techniques is that it works perfectly even through audio recordings. Most of my clients who experience this listen to them over and over again because they were so amazing. In fact, most of my clients who experienced the best results were long distance ones. You'll get an exclusive selection of my most powerful energetic tools. And over the years, I've developed and perfected dozens of energetic tools that can easily and quickly spark profound changes in anyone, and I mean anyone's energetic frequency. You're going to get transformational results. I mean, at the end of the day, either something works or it doesn't work, and this stuff works. 400 people took part in the original Unlimited Abundance Journey, and a huge majority of them have reported massive positive improvements. I get those emails, hundreds of them. They were like, oh my God. I mean, literally, it's profound. On top of the thousands of already successful clients I've worked with, I know, and I'm so confident that you're going to experience these results too. I've worked with thousands of clients very successfully throughout the years, so I'm completely confident that you're going to experience these results too. Otherwise, I really wouldn't even offer it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I strongly believe that the more fun you have, the quicker your abundance is going to show up. And so I make it fun, I make it high vibration, and you're not going to want to miss this. I just want everybody to really get that at the end of the day, you get an embodied level of abundance. You basically embody the abundance instinct. So imagine, that you can wake up in the morning and you say, hey, I want to invest in my money. And you can follow the instinct that's going to guide you to the greatest and most profitable investment. I make you guys feel good about profit. So you're not going to have all these hard financial decisions, these I don't knows, these I don't care, all these blocks. We blow through all your I don't knows, I don't care, I don't know what to do, and give you the instinct, the embodiment of abundance. What I just want to say is this is important, because if you're blocked now, if you're 30, 40, 50 years old and you're blocked now with your abundance, you're still could be potentially blocked for 20, 30, 40, 50 more years. I mean, seriously, who wants to live like that? And the planet's upgrading, and the planet and your soul are going to kick you in the tush until you start clearing your stuff. That's just what I've noticed. Everybody has probably had some experience of the speeded up energy kind of bringing all their stuff to them. And I've seen amazing things happen when people liberate themselves from these blocks. And everybody from all walks of life. In this course, I had a welfare mom get off of welfare, okay? And I had people who are millionaires who did the course. So it can affect positively everybody in a really cool way. The most important thing is I'm just so proud of everybody for choosing it. And I know what's going to happen for you. I truly know that you're going to be so different, and you're going to be like, holy crap, this really worked. Something finally worked for me. Because that's kind of the emails that I get. People go, I tried all these other things and da-da-da and da-da-da, and this worked. Why not manifest your own inspiring success story? I mean, try out the Unlimited Abundance Home Training Program and, just really let me help you. I want to help you.